Reach out. Speak up. Speak out. You are the voice of a new generation. And this
is your station.
Talk Radio 93.7 Citizen FM.
This is...
Hello, Abuja. You are listening to 93.7 Citizen FM, the latest radio station based in Nigeria's capital.
Thank you so much for joining us on Newspaper Review on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. It's a Monday morning, bright and early in the city. My name is Lawrence Omoite. Once again, we appreciate you for joining us on the show. And quickly, we start off with The Guardian newspaper. We have a lot of stories to bring to you. So without wasting time, The Guardian newspaper is our first spot. And we start with the story. Hope rises for investors as market gains 1.1 trillion naira in the first trading week. That's good news. And Works Ministry budgets 12 billion naira on legal fees, SSA's vehicles. And those are breakdowns of the budgets. Diaspora Group endorses Seyi Tinubu as next governor of Lagos. Obasanjo reveals how Jimmy Carter saved him from Abacha. And that story has been trending since yesterday. Our father allegedly kills, buries 14-year-old son over habitual theft. That's a very sad story. And stealing state resources to fund foreign education. 500,000 farmers displaced within 2 years, says Dawn. An airstrike. Zamfara governor, APC applaud Nigerian Air Force as military denies civilian casualties. And NLC seeks dialogue on tax reforms as Makinde urges collaboration. Northern youth query alleged secret recruitment in CBN. NDLEA apprehends traditional priest, seizes 2,760 kg of skunk in major burst. Alake decries capital budget cut in mining sector. And stop politicians from using pulpits to abuse people, Obara tells church. And Nigeria secured $7.6 billion investment interest from AIF, says AFDB. And France military base and life assurance policy. Uriwa commends Tinubu for banning unethical practices in armed forces. Concerns over lingering emergency response in Lagos. And terrorist kill, okay? LASSO announces disbursement of student loans for successful applicants. And we move on to the Punch newspaper now. And serial outages, Dangote NNPCL total 247 firms dump discos, generates 6,500 megawatts. And PDP factional secretaries set for showdown, vows to resume today. And Stampede or Your Files murder charges against Ooni's ex-queen and others. How Qatar intervened to save me from Apache's gulag. That's former President Olusegun Obasanjo. And California fire, Trump blames leaders for poor response as 16 killed. Ogun housewife stabs husband to death for alleged infidelity. Peace returns to Kaduna community after 12-year violence. And fears rise in Imo community over bomb explosion. And we move on to the Nation newspaper now. Federal government ministerial panel to enforce council autonomy. And APC chiefs lawmaker greets Governor Ayedatiwa at 60. And PDP says it will reclaim presidency in 2027. And recapitalization, bank measures, acquisition looms. And we move on to the Vanguard newspaper now. Police expose new trend, constructive kidnapping. Rescue 16 ladies in Lagos. And still on Obasanjo is saying, I shared similarities with the late President Jimmy Carter. And federal government approves 4 airlines for 2025 Hajj operations. PDP crisis, fear grips secretariat staff as activities resume. Federal government lauded for 20% pension increase, minimum pension implementation. Wherever criminals enter, go after them. CDS charges soldiers. And a Boeing Assembly Deputy Speaker's aides die in road accident. Rotational presidency is here to stay. South will complete them. Ex-Oshibajo aide. And Peter Obi makes U-turn over his comment on alleged national grid collapse. Seyi Tinubu can become next governor of Lagos. This is according to the Minister of Youth. And airstrike, back to the Zamfara airstrike. No evidence civilians were killed, says Nigerian Air Force as Zamfara. Abuja food stampede not due to negligence. Catholic Church clarifies. Police arrest, detain National President of Actors Guild in Abia State. And on banditry, we won't allow criminality thrive in Osun, Amotekun commander. And father confesses to killing, burying 14-year-old son over alleged criminal activities. And police smash Uber drivers, killer gangs, arrest 7 suspects in Lagos. They are to report on Monday. EFCC confirms invitation of Okoya sons for questioning. And we move on to the leadership newspaper now. Some parties, some governors may dump parties ahead of 2027. And from there we move on to the Tribune newspaper. Ibadan Stampede court determines bail application today. Suspect may face fresh 18 counts charge. And 2027, Ohanaeze endorses Tinubu for second term. And PDP crisis, anxiety as two national secretaries resume today. Shake-up in Army as Chief of Army Staff redeploys top officers. All right, we move on to penpushing.com. I am done with staying with pen pushing. Paramount ruler of Egbaland leads Shodeke family for 180 years remembrance Thanksgiving service. Ooh. And another military airstrike kills 20 civilian vigilantes in defense minister's hometown. And still staying with penpushing.com, terrorists attack Nigerian immigration service facilities. And for details of any of those stories, you can check out penpushing.com, which is a source for authentic news globally. Well, we'll take a short break now. When we return, the Super Review will continue. Please don't go away.
Hello, Abuja. You are listening to 93.7 Citizen FM, the latest radio station based in Nigeria's capital. Our station seeks to broadcast a broad mix of culture and views with priority given to development programming to enable residents share ideas and opinions, music and drama. At Citizen FM, we believe in progressive talk and solution-driven conversation. Our aim is to build a united Nigeria by bringing people of diverse culture together through communication. Enjoy listening to 93.7 Citizen FM. We are more than just a radio station. We are a part of your life. This is our journey. We have had our finest moments and our darkest hours. Yet we pull ourselves back from the brink every time. We are a resilient people. We are Nigeria. And when we talk, we share our views on Talk Radio 93.7 Citizen FM. A people united will never be defeated. Abuja. Wake up. Reach out. Speak up. Speak out. You are the voice of a new generation. And this is your station. Talk Radio 93.7 Citizen FM.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. It's still Newspaper Review on Citizen 93.7 FM and Abuja. Welcome to the second half of the show. And this is where we look at some of the stories in detail. And as usual, our in-house analyst is on standby to help us do just that. Good morning, Mr. Salmon Salami.
Very good morning to you, Mr. Lawrence Umuete. And good morning to you too. all our teeming citizen listeners.
Okay, and I'm happy to announce to you that Mr. Salami can also be called Sheikh Salman. Good morning, Sheikh Salman.
I'm afraid of what will happen from the Supreme Council.
Okay, well, that was just on a lighter note. But let's get back to this serious matter of the day. Mr. Salami, yesterday, I think the story broke yesterday, but there's been a lot of interest generated, and rightfully so, because it's a security matter, and that's the airstrike in Zamfara State. Airstrike, Zamfara government, APC applaud, NAV as military denies civilian casualty. The Nigerian Air Force yesterday claimed there is no credible evidence to support reports that 16 civilians were killed during an airstrike targeting insurgents in Zamfara State. The rebuttal came as Zamfara State government admitted the interventions has significantly degraded the bandits' operational capacity and reaffirmed its commitment to providing all necessary support to the Nigerian Air Force. Also, the Zamfara State chapter of the APC declared that they are pleased with the ongoing military efforts to root out bandits from their hideouts. Nevertheless, the state government and the APC expressed condolences to victims' families. NAV insisted the strike conducted under Operation Harding Daji on January 10 were a devastatingly well-coordinated air-ground assault targeting banditry in the state. Mr. Salam.
Devastatingly air-ground assault on terrorists and bandits. That was the description from the Air Force. And over the weekend, we've been hearing a lot of claim and counter-claim as to the identity of those who are brought down, neutralized or decimated by the NAVA or the security, Nigerian security. One thing we must admit is that over the months, the Nigerian security, under the able leadership of General Chris Musta, has been up and doing. And they have taken the fight to the doorstep of the non-state actors, the bandits, the kidnappers, and indeed the militants. And of course, they have resorted to what they enjoy doing most: propaganda. Propaganda. Nobody is saying that the military should not work by the global standard, best practices, the rules of engagement. Yes, they should observe the rule of engagement, and they should be guided by the rule of the engagement, rather. But even at that, we should be very careful so that we do not demoralize our security men. We know that there could be instances of collateral damage. Love bullets. We do not pray for that. But war is not a particularly straightforward thing. Quite a lot of things could happen.
Very complicated.
Very, very complicated. What is important? They should stick to the rule of engagement, and they should avoid as much as possible mauling down civilians. But we should celebrate and appreciate our security agencies under the able leadership of the one and only General Christopher Gwabe Musa and all his other service chiefs, because he too has told the media men that he is just a person, that what is going on and what we are seeing now is the consequence of teamwork. It is a teamwork. We appreciate all of them.
All right, talking about teamwork, let's move on to The Nation newspaper. Mrs. Salami, federal government ministerial panel to enforce council autonomy. The federal government is taking a step towards today in implementation of the Supreme Court judgment on local government autonomy. An interministerial committee set up to enforce the verdict would begin a 2-day meeting in Abuja. Members of the panel will be discussing the modalities for the enforcement of the Apex Court verdict that mandates direct disbursements of funds to the 774 local government areas from the Federation Account Allocation Committee.
Fine news, very good news. But I think there's no time to waste again. The disbursement must commence or should commence this month without further delay. It does not stop there, or it should not stop there. After the disbursement, there is the need for the people, the real owner of the funds, to monitor the application, how the money is being expended and on what. It is their money, and it behoves on them to ensure that the money is spent judiciously and there is value for money. It is then and not until then that we can begin to reap the benefits of direct allocation of resources to the third tier of government, which is the government closest to the people.
Yes, I completely agree with you, Mr. Salami, and this is where citizen journalism comes in. Nigerians, especially the young ones, instead of busy grumbling and other things on social media, this is the time to use your power. Form some groups, get to local government council, get to your local government chairman, look out for the budgets from the local government, and then monitor. Look at the first quarter. What has been done? What was said to be that will be done? Because budget is an intention. If it is not done at the end of that first quarter or second quarter as stipulated in the budget, ask questions. When releases are made or published, ask questions from your councillors. This is why they say that local government is the closest to the people, because access is not as difficult as you would have at the federal level or perhaps at the state level. You know where your councillor lives. You know where the headquarters of the local government is. You can have access to your local government chairman. Ask questions. Very, very important.
Let me just add that there is the need for the federal government to patronize the media, both print, electronic, and the responsible social media, the online media. And if possible, let the federal government ensure that the allocation to all the 774 local governments are well publicized. So you can know at the tip or press of a button the amount of money that comes to your own local government. And please monitor. There is the need for the people, because sovereignty lies, it is in the hand of the people. Let the people take ownership of their government.
All right, thank you so much. Let's move on to the Tribune newspaper. And this story has been on in the last few weeks since it broke. I'm talking about the stampede in Ibadan, especially that of the Ibadan stampede. Court determines bail application today. Suspect may face fresh 18-count charge. The Oyo State government has filed a fresh suit against ex-Queen Naomi, the chairman of an Ibadan-based radio station, and others at the State High Court. Then a Tribune gathered that the suit was filed on Friday, and it borders on conspiracy to commit felony. murder, manslaughter, conspiracy to commit an offense, criminal negligence, and others. The offense was said to be contrary to and punishable under Section 324 of the Criminal Code, and details are also there. The charge also said the suspect also did conspire together to commit a felony and criminal, and all the legal register there. The long and short of it, Mrs. Salami, is that it doesn't look as if reprieve will come the way of the organizers anytime soon.
Well, you know that we have discussed this here, and we have said that the state, and when I say the state, I mean the government, because all of us are sons and daughters of the government. And if anything happens to us, it's the government that will come in and ensure that the appropriate laws are applied. In this instance, let us allow the government, as it's been doing, to handle it. And let us see what has happened in the eyes of the law, not in the eyes of emotion, not in the eyes of sentiment, and not in the eyes of armchair commentary. Let them apply law to facts. But in doing that, they should not be unmindful of the unintended consequence of what happened. They did not set out to kill people. They did not set out to inflict pains. They did not set out to dispatch the innocent ones to the early grave. But this, as I said, is armchair commentary. Let the law take its course. I pray and I hope that the just shall live by faith.
All right, we hope so, Ms. Salami. Well, before we continue, you can join the conversation. Call us on 0818-2222-205, and that's 0818-2222-206. Any of the two numbers, you can also send us a WhatsApp message. And also the other third number, you can try 0903-2229-797. Send us a WhatsApp message or just make a voice call, and let's have your take on any of the stories so far reviewed today. Mr. Salabi, we move back to the Guardian newspaper. NDLEA apprehends traditional priest, seizes 2,760 kg of skunk in major burst. Operatives of the NDLEA have apprehended the traditional chief priest of a shrine at Alpha Beach in Ajah area following recovery of over 2,000 kg skunk in October. Aliyu, also known as Malo, was arrested over 3 months after an intensive manhunt. The accomplice had been arrested at the shrine last year and subsequently charged and convicted to court. But Aliyu, described as the leader of the syndicate, had evaded capture until now. In separate operation, NDLA officers intercepted a 40-feet trailer loaded with 2,217 kg of skunk cannabis strain at an abandoned fuel station in Kubwa, FCT. The drugs were being distributed into 6 vehicles for further distribution and transportation to northern states. The trail, which the intelligence-led raid, which took place at 1 a.m., resulted in the arrest of so many other people. Femi Babafemi, who is the NDLA spokesman, confirmed that the consignment had been loaded in Onwa local government in Edo State, and so many others, Mrs. Salam.
This is serious, and this is sad, because the agents of death, they are on the prowl, and they are not relenting. Whether we like it or not, we must admit the fact that the prevalence of drug in the country is gargantuan now. It has reached an alarming stage. It has reached a level where all hands should be on deck, because this is something that affects the younger ones, the future generation, the pride, what we are looking up to, the next generation. Yes, I'm saying this with all sense of responsibility, that the abuse of illegal substance is prevalent now. It has reached a stage where there is the need for the government to have a controversy, or to have a rethink on how we will nip this in the bud, if nipping in the bud is the word again, because Omoye has gotten into the market. Taking cloth to Omoye may be late, but never say late.
Exactly. And so sometimes when you see certain things that happen and you begin to wonder, could this be as a result of exposure to some of these hard drugs? For example, Mr. Salami, this story I'm about to read now. Father of 7 kills son over theft. A 34-year-old father of 7, Monday Elela, has been arrested by operatives of the Ondo State Police Command for allegedly killing and burying his son in a shallow grave over habitual theft. Elela, who is a bricklayer and a farmer, in connivance with his wife, who is on the run, purportedly committed the crime at their home in the state, while being paraded along with some other criminal suspects at the state. The suspect, who admitted to beating his deceased son, denied killing him. Mr. Salami.
Let me ask some rhetorical questions. Are we sure it was their son?
Logical.
Even if it was not, are we sure they are correct? Clearly they are not. Even though not being correct is not an excuse. The point still remains that are we still human? The humanity in us, is it still intact? There's a need for us to interrogate some of these questions, because I am still wondering and I'm still in shock to hear that a man, a father, 34 years old, by all standard, is not a young man. Fairly young though. For a 34...
And a father of 7.
At 34, he already has 7 children, and he's a bricklayer. Very interesting. And with the wife, connived and killed one of their sons. Yeah, they said that for habitual stealing, it could be painful, no doubt about that. But that is not a justification for snuffing life out of the young man, young boy. It is not. It can never be. And I don't think that beheading is the antidote for headache.
Never.
That if you have headache, the solution to your headache is to cut the head. I don't think that is not the way to go. And the police or the law enforcement agencies should go after him, and he should have his days in court.
And hopefully too that the mom who is on the run, the long arms of the law will catch up. Because Mr. Salami, you and I know that mothers are special creatures, especially when it comes to their relationship with their sons. Mothers, the average mother does not joke with the son.
I'm not too sure that it's our biological son. Yeah. Even at that, the milk of human kindness, I take it for granted that it runs in all women, especially.
All right, let's still staying with the Guardian newspaper. Southeast senators celebrate Azuta Mbata's election as Ohanese's president general. The Southeast Senate Caucus has extended its congratulations to Senator Azuta Mbata on his election as the President General of Ohanaeze Ndigbo worldwide, describing it as a pivotal moment in the history of Igbo Epic Socio-Cultural Organization. In a statement issued in Abuja, Senator Abaribe, the caucus leader, expressed confidence in Senator Mbata's leadership qualities, emphasizing that his tenure will foster unity, peace, and development in Igbo land. This is coming after also the congratulations by Mr. President immediately after the election was announced.
Well, I congratulate our brothers in the southeast for having Senator Asuta Mbata as the leader of the APES cultural group, Ohanaeze. It does not end there. There are quite a lot of work to be done. Senator Asuta Mbata is able, is fit, is capable, and we congratulate him. We wish him the best of luck in this arduous task of uniting the Indigbos. It does not stop there. All of us should be happy that the right man is taking over the right APES group and is matured, is a patriot, and this could be gleaned from the plethora or the flurry of congratulatory messages, including one from the presidential villa. I am not too sure if you will read that one, where it was said that the Ohanaeze has endorsed. Let me. It is not my job. My own is just to comment.
Exactly, Mrs. Salami. I was just going to say that. In fact, before the announcement of the election of Senator Mbata, we also had stories of about two other people elected as President General of Ohanaeze Ndigbo. So we hope that this will not become another legal matter that will end up in court. But from the look of things, you can see where the majority of the Igbos are tilting.
The Igbos. When the Igbos talk, you know that they have spoken. And those we call the real Igbos, those who can authoritatively speak on behalf of the Igbos, seem to have spoken.
So we hope that the House will come together and they will move forward. I was just telling you, Mrs. Alami, that my first encounter with Senator Mbata was during those years I used to cover the National Assembly. During the stormy era of Senator Chuba Kadigbo, you remember that when Chuba Kadigbo was removed as the Senate President, Senator Mbata became the Senate President pro tempore. That means he stood in gap until another Senate President was elected. So, well, this is saying congratulations, distinguished Senator, and we hope your tenure will be peaceful. All right, Mr. Salami, still talking politics. Let's move on to the leadership newspaper. 5 governors made dumb parties ahead of 2025. As the race for the 2027 election begins to shape up, strong rumors of defection are swirling around no fewer than 5 first-term opposition governors. Investigation by leadership newspaper shows that the governors of Abia, Enugu, Delta, Rivers, and Akwa Ibom have had to address concerns surrounding talks about their plans to dump their parties for the ruling All Progressives Congress. While Mbav, Fubara, Eno, and Obufori belong to the major opposition PDP, Oti belongs to the Labour Party. Interestingly, both parties have been locked in post-2023 election crisis, which seems to have defied interventions so far. Mr. Salami, elections are not here yet, but elections are around the corner. I'm sure you understand that.
You know, politicians, that they will always start campaign the day before they were sworn in. And now that they have been decided for close to 2 years now, because by May 29, it will be 2 years that they've been in office. And you should expect that there's going to be what I call alignment and alignment of political forces. And that is what we are about to see. And that's what we will see. Any politician, or most politicians, or indeed politicians, are more interested in winning election. Winning election to do what is the next question. And I want to believe that winning election is as important as delivering on the mandate or on the campaign manifesto. You must prioritize the people. But a friend told me that beauty is nothing. It's just the character that is needed. And I told him that before you know the character, won't you see him first? It is good to strategize and win election. Because any politician who does not win election is not what... come to think of it. They want to win and they should aspire to win election. And they will always go to where, a party that will give them that leverage in such a way that victory is certain. The struggle, they say, continues.
It's always going to be like that, because if you look at virtually all the major political parties, you see a lot of internal wranglings coming up. This is as a result of desire